Hi Jane, it's good to meet you again and thanks for being available today.
Not a problem. I am very keen to hear more about the secondment and what it's like to work in H&H.
Great, well let's start with talking about the secondment and then we can discuss some key results areas and expectations for the role.
Sounds good.
Well, the starting point is that it's a 1-year secondment. Just in case you are worried about anything, I have met with Joanna and she's made it clear that in line with company policy, there is a rollback for you in gardening should you want it if you want to finish early or at the end of the secondment.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you.
The one thing that Joanna and I shared as a concern was to provide you with the support of secondment, especially around learning the H&H products. How do you feel about that learning curve?
A little bit nervous actually, as I know that was the toughest part of being hired into gardening. That said, I do now know the point of sale systems and most of the policies and procedures, so I am nervous but looking forward to the challenge.
Good, that's pleasing to hear. And I think you like the plan we've put in place to support you in the secondment. What you have in front of you is the proposed work plan and the key result areas, the KRAs, for the role. Our first task will be having to stack the shelves as to learn where the products are, and then we'll move you to some formal training. So let me talk you through this document.
Thanks.
The broad approach is to provide you with 2 buddies to help you come up to speed with H&H and give you some training. The training is split into 2 batches. The first is the overview of the products, and the second a deep dive into some specialist products. The easiest way to describe the deep dive is like what you achieved on the roses and native shrubs in gardening. All being well, by the time we get to month 3, we want to give you the opportunity to become an expert on some of the products that take your interest. How does that sound?
That sounds good actually, but 2 days product training does not sound like much initially.
That's true actually. It will give you a good overview, but I would like to look at Sam as your buddy for more complex customer questions for the first few months. I think it really would be an 80-20 rule. The 2 days gives you enough to answer 80% of the typical questions and 20% best to seek a colleague's assistance. The first week on shelves will help you learn and see the H&H products. I hope that makes sense.
To be honest, the buddy system sounds familiar, as we use that approach in gardening. It is tough to come up to speed on a new department product family, so I like that idea of a buddy and some training to help.
Excellent. Well, let's look at the KRAs. The first one is a revenue target, which you can see I have cut back a little. I know you have the firm's processes and procedures and point of sale, but to recognise that you're in a new area to learn, we're not going to expect you to achieve the typical revenue targets for at least the first 6 months. I hope that you will get there by the end of the first 3 months, but if it takes 6, so be it.
Thank you. I think a ramp-up period would be good, and that seems reasonable.
Great. I do want to emphasise that all positions in the company following the internal policies and procedures and keeping a focus on customer service is a mandatory requirement. None of our team goals should be a surprise to you as they're relatively consistent across the whole firm. But in H&H, we expect everyone to go that extra mile for the customer. If I observe any challenges in this for you, I'll keep on top of things with the weekly meeting. If all is going well, then I'll look to move these fortnightly as we'll be seeing each other on the floor during the day.
That seems fair, and to be honest, it is a much more open plan area than gardening. So I'm hoping if I do get any complicated questions from customers, that I can just wave to you or Sam or anyone else in the area, especially as I come up to speed with H&H products.
Good. Look at all the other parts of the firm. We are here to help you and help our customers. Now, do you have any questions?
I have one. I can see that the monthly meeting is formal. What do you mean by that?
Good question. And nothing too onerous either. I like to follow our H&R policies and use their templates. All that I mean is that we will meet and write down observations, feedback and goals for the next month. This means we can clear with each other any concerns and upfront set of expectations for the following month. It also gives us a chance to write down any successes and progresses that you are making.
Oh, that's good. I think that's a fair approach.
Excellent. Now, in terms of start dates, Joanna was talking about the beginning of the next month. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Awesome. If there are no other questions, then I'll get cracking on the paperwork. And welcome to H&H.